Shall we start? Okay, so let us begin. What is the first?
They who have the more precious task that they have to think over the consignment of the business dealing and all, they can link the class. Okay, no need to be here in the attitude that whatever is going on, that is not of your status or your level. So you will keep yourself busy with your devices. You can leave the class. I assure you that I will give you attendance. Yes, please.
Okay, so before we begin, I would like to ask you all, what is the first thing that would come to your mind when you hear the word self-esteem? What is self-esteem according to you? Anyone from the audience?
Self-respect.
Self-respect and
Self-confidence.
self-confidence, right? So it is basically how much we value ourselves, what is our opinion about ourselves, how do we perceive ourselves, what are the beliefs and opinions about ourselves, and also how much confidence we have in ourselves or specifically in our abilities and attributes. By attributes I mean physical appearance, physical attributes, right? And how much you worth yourself. And by worth I am not talking about your bodily organs, not your kidneys, not your liver, eyes, okay? That you don't include that in worth. By worth we mean how much you perceive yourself, alright? Okay, so this is one quote. Anyone from the audience can read it. Mayank, can you read this quote, please?
Nothing is better for survival than self-esteem.
Right. So I think it is very true in today's scenario. Self-esteem. Self-esteem is better for survival than self-esteem. Sorry, nothing is better for survival than self-esteem. That's right. Is it? Are you sure? We will see about that. And before we proceed any further, a very good morning to one of our presenter. I am Shaurajan, and today we will be learning about self-esteem. So we will go through the factors that affect our self-esteem. Today we will be doing 3 factors in total. Though there are more, but today this would be enough. The first factor is what a same-sex parent did, and we will understand it with the help of video.
Firstly, what your same-sex parent did. The single greatest determinant of how much you will esteem yourself is how you compare with your same-sex parent, whether you've achieved more or less than mum or dad. Rather brutally, it seems that comfortable levels of self-esteem are only available to those who've managed to outpace their same-sex parent. Those from a poor background have a big, unwitting advantage here. You might only be driving a beaten-up old taxi around Manhattan and living in one room in Harlem. But if your same-sex parent was a subsistence farmer from eastern Burkina Faso, you will at times feel princely nevertheless. Similarly, yet more darkly, you might have grown up in ostensibly privileged circumstances, but if your same-sex parent made a few $100 million and you're only managing to pull in a middle-class salary, you're liable never quite to shake off a haunting feeling that you're a disgrace.
Okay, so the crux of the video was that your level of self-esteem will be dependent on how much you have achieved more or less than your same-sex parent. That is, for boys they will look up to their dads whether they have achieved more or less than them, and for the girls they will look up to their mothers and see whether they have achieved more or less than them. For example, if a boy's father is a businessman and managed to earn billions, and the boy though only ended up getting a middle class job and is only earning about 1 lakh a month, he might feel disgraced or ashamed that he is not up to the mark of that his parent or dad. And for girls, it can be the case that a girl may become a lawyer and her mother was a housewife, and she would have more self-confidence or self-esteem that she has done better than her mother. The next factor is peer group. I think we all know what peer group is, right? Today we'll be talking about what your peer group is up to. There are billions and billions of people on this earth, but are you concerned about each and every one of them? You don't even know the names of majority of them, right? You don't care about what they are doing, what amazing things they are capable of doing, and what are their achievements in life. What you do care about is your peer group. The people who are close to you. Your peer group will include all those people like family, friends, your classmates, the people you work with, co-workers, etc. And you might be thinking, Shaurya, how does that affect my self-esteem? How does the peer group affects my self-esteem? Well, let's take an example. Suppose one of your friends which you were in classmates in your school time, ended up becoming a billionaire by doing the business, or one of them became a president of the country. On the other hand, you're just your plain old self. How would you feel? You might feel that my friends are doing so great in life, why can't I achieve the same? Whenever someone does better than you in your peer group, your self-esteem, a part of your self-esteem will vanish. Moving to the third factor that we'll be talking about is childhood. More specifically, what kind of love you received in your childhood. There are mainly two types of love that you can see. One of them is unconditional love and the other is conditional love. Let's talk about unconditional love first. What is unconditional love? It is the type of love that you would receive from your pets and parents, majority of the time, pets and parents. That is, they will love you regardless of your physical attributes, what are your capabilities, what you can and cannot do. They will love you in all regards. A child who receives such type of love in their childhood would have a higher level of self-esteem. Why? Because they are just okay to be. They don't need to prove themselves to the world that yes, they have some worth in them. On the other hand, the conditional love, as the name suggests, it is a type of love that you would receive by fulfilling certain conditions, certain situations, only then you will receive. For example, a parent, there are few parents who would love their kids only when they achieve certain targets or get good grades. So let's say a parent might say, I will only love you when you become a lawyer or a doctor, right? People who receive such type of love in their childhood have lower levels of self-esteem and they are constantly trying to meet the expectations of their parents, their guardians or the society, just to tell them that yes, we are worthy. And what happens is they become what others want them to be rather than being themselves. They lose their sense of self. Okay, so this was all the factors about self-esteem, but there is also one dark side to self-esteem that is not talked about much. We'll study about that today. Let's go with a quote first. Aryan, can you read this quote for me?
One of the greatest regrets in the life is being what others would want you to be rather than being yourself.
Piyush, can you read this louder?
One of the greatest regrets.
Louder.
One of the greatest regrets in life is being what others would want you to be rather than being yourself.
Right. So it is very true.
Yes.
Even this is the same thing that we went through in the previous slides. But there are some times when people take this thing to its very extreme. What happens is, for them, in the word self-esteem, their self is enormous. It is overwhelming. It is so huge that they forget about the respect part of self-esteem. These type of people are called narcissists. These are the type of people who have excessive love for themselves. They disregard what others have to say in this world. They just do what they want to. Such type of people think that they are perfect. Such type of people think that they have no room for improvement at all. They think that the entire universe revolves around them, and they also think that everyone else should adopt to them rather than that guy should change. So, whenever it is very easy to spot a narcissist, they will constantly talk about themselves. They will not care about others. and you should also try not to become such a person. To do that, you should keep a balance in life. How? By balance we mean you should have certain level of self-esteem so that you don't instantly become depressed whenever you face certain failures or someone criticizes you. On the other hand, you should also have a certain room in your life for failures, for criticism, so that you can grow in life. Criticism and failures are always necessary for growth. Okay, so this is the last quote. We'll read. Asim, can you read this quote for me?
I am beginning to measure myself in strengths, not money, sometimes in smiles.
Nishita, can you read this louder?
I am beginning to measure myself in strengths, not money, sometimes in smiles.
Right. So you should always start measuring yourself in strengths, what you can do, what are your best points, what are your strengths, and also sometimes in smiles. Why? In smiles, we mean that as you grow up, you will see a lot less people who will actually smile. So smile becomes a rare commodity in the adult world. So if you can smile more, you are more precious than everyone else. Thank you.
Is any query? Yes, you are giving the term narcissist.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you have explained it as if someone is having love for oneself in excess.
Yes, you can also call it as ego.
Ego. Or just to love oneself. Because you have not mentioned ego directly now.
Let's just
No,
stick
my
with.
question is, if I love myself a lot in excess, but I do not harm to anyone,
Yeah, that's healthy.
is that wrong or right?
That won't be narcissist, I think. Narcissist is when you love yourself only. But if you also care about others and how others feel, that won't come into the category of narcissism.
Okay, once I was watching the news analysis on one channel, and they were saying that CM of Delhi, Mr. Kejriwal, is narcissist.
Okay.
Does he fit you?
I don't think he would fit here. I don't know how people could call him a narcissist. I mean, he's already doing a lot for the state and the country, for the people. And if someone had excessive love for themselves, they wouldn't do all that. Thank you.